بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله حمدا والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. My respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, tonight we'll be looking at another hadith in relation to our daily fast throughout the month of Ramadan. And in general, this hadith is in relation to any type of fast, either it be in the month of Ramadan or outside of the month of Ramadan when we are fasting, any sunnah or nafil fast, optional fast throughout the year. And the hadith is in relation to the niyyah, to the intention that we make for our fast. And many of us have come across a certain day where we either forgot to make an intention early in the morning when we ate our suhoor, or we woke up late altogether and we didn't even get the opportunity to eat our suhoor and make the niyyah. So in that case, what should an individual do? We'll inshallah look at the hadith that Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi mentions in his Sahih in this regard, and then we'll look at what the masail that we can derive from it. So the hadith is narrated by Salma ibn Aqwa radiyallahu anhu. He mentions that one day the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بعث رجلا ينادي في الناس يوم عاشوراء أن من أكل فليتم أو فليصم ومن لم يأكل فلا يأكل. So the hadith, Salma ibn Aqwa radiallahu anhu mentions that on a day of Ashura, yani the 10th of Muharram, when we usually do fast as a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on one particular 10th of Muharram, Ashura, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent out a sahabi to make an announcement to the people and to let them know that whoever has eaten already, then they should not eat anymore. And just stay hungry, don't eat anymore even if you have already eaten. And for those individuals that have not eaten yet, then they should complete the fast for the day. So in other words, this was people that might have already started their day off but with an empty stomach, they had not eaten yet. So the Prophet ﷺ gave them advice that even if you have not eaten and you have not made an intention, but you can continue this day as a day of fasting, the 10th of Muharram, with an intention from now. You don't have to eat suhoor and make an intention early in the morning, in other words. So we can see that the Prophet ﷺ had made it very clear to us that an intention early in the morning at the time of suhoor is not compulsory. It's not necessary that the intention has to be made then and there. Yes, according to the ulama, it is highly recommended that we make our intention in the morning. In other words, even in the night before, early in the morning, we make our intention that today I'm going to be fasting. Either it be a fast for the month of Ramadan or outside of the month of Ramadan, like I said, an optional fast, you make an intention for that day. That's the preferred time to make an intention. But it is, like I said, not necessary to make it at that time. If someone forgets, someone does not remember, or someone woke up late, which is beyond their control, then they can definitely make an intention later on. How late? This is debated amongst the madhahib, the schools of thought of fiqh and so forth. But according to the ahnaf, you can make an intention up until before zawal. So after zawal, obviously we know the time of dhuhr and everything enters, but before zawal, which is the shari'i midday, before zawal, you can make an intention for that day's fast in the month of Ramadan if you need to make an intention. So that's out of the way. But having said that, the ulama have also mentioned that we have to know that intention, yani niyyah, is the amal and the action of the heart. It's not necessary for a person to make a verbal intention. When we say intention, that does not mean that the intention has to be verbalized. We have to utter certain words to make that intention. If you have an intention in your heart, without even verbalizing and uttering any words, that is sufficient. So when a person gets up for suhoor, he wakes up early in the morning, he set his alarm, or she has set her alarm to wake up early in the morning to eat suhoor. And when they have woken up and eaten suhoor, then that is sufficient for the niyyah. because they intended to wake up that early in the morning to eat suhoor because they were going to fast. So even if they did not make a separate intention to fast, they already had the intention to fast because that's why they ate suhoor. So if someone has not verbalized the intention, they should not worry because you eating your suhoor was your intention anyway to fast for that day. But if someone does feel more, they feel more at ease once they do verbalize the intention, removes all shak, all doubts, then they can verbalize the intention even later on, like I said, up until before Zawal. And if you look at the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, not here but in Sahih Muslim, where Aisha radiallahu anha mentions that on certain occasions the Prophet ﷺ would come home and he would ask, he would go to the masjid, he would pray Salatul Fajr and he would spend time there, and then he would come home later on and then he would ask, Ya Aisha, hal indakum shay? That, oh Aisha, is there anything? Do you have anything? And obviously for breakfast, anything to eat in the morning. And Aisha radiallahu anha would say that, فَقُلْتُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ مَا عِنْدَنَا شَيْءٍ. That, O Prophet of Allah, unfortunately we don't have anything. There's nothing in the home to eat for that day. Can you imagine the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the leader of all prophets, the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but here he has nothing at all in his home to eat. So Aisha radiallahu anha would say, مَا عِنْدَنَا شَيْءٍ. We have nothing, unfortunately. So the Prophet ﷺ then would reply, فَإِنِّي صَائِمٌ. Then I will fast today. Obviously this is outside of Ramadan, this is not Ramadan, these are the optional days. So the Prophet ﷺ, upon having been informed that there's nothing in the home, he would say, okay, I'm going to fast for the day. So again, this is another dalil, another proof for us that the intention does not necessarily need to be made with suhoor or early in the morning. If someone later on in the day, even without suhoor, wants to make an intention for a fast, he can very well do so, even if it is well after Fajr, but as long, according to the Ahnaf, as long as it is before the time of Zawal, the intention is inshaAllah valid. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept and give us the tawfiq to fast the entire month of Ramadan as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like it to be fasted. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.